Liu Yuning refused to end the show, turning an encore into an unforgettable night. He was supposed to leave after 2 songs, but when fans refused to say goodbye, Liu Yuning made a split-second decision that turned the entire night into something unforgettable. Over 2 consecutive nights, performing 37 songs entirely live, including the debut stages of Feng Shang and Zong Ma Ta Ji Xing, Liu Yuning once again demonstrated why his stage presence continues to resonate so strongly with audiences. His voice remained steady throughout, and media outlets even described him as a singer who can make longing take shape the moment he opens his mouth. As his second tour approaches its final stop in Nanjing on April 18 and 19, the Hangzhou shows have come to represent more than just another stop along the way. They feel like a turning point, both the closing chapter of this tour and a signal that actor Liu Yuning is ready to return. Among the 2 nights, March 15 stood out in particular. That night, inside the Hangzhou Olympic Sports Center arena, tens of thousands of fans called out for an encore in unison. By that point, the concert had already reached its planned ending. The final 2 encore songs had been completed, the lights were beginning to dim, and the band was preparing to leave the stage. Everything was moving exactly according to schedule. But Liu Yuning didn't leave. He stood there for a moment, looking out at the crowd and the sea of lights that showed no sign of fading. After a brief exchange with his team, he picked up the microphone and made a simple decision: if there was still time, he would keep singing. What was meant to end with 2 encore songs turned into 4. There was no prior arrangement and no rehearsal for what followed. It was a spontaneous choice, driven entirely by the atmosphere in the room. Fans later joked that he had emptied his entire inventory, giving away everything he had prepared. But what made the moment memorable wasn't just the extra songs, it was the feeling that neither the performer nor the audience was ready to let the night end. That same sense of commitment carried into his performance. As the night went on, the physical strain became visible. His neck and chest turned red under the stage lights, his breathing grew heavier, and sweat reflected off his skin, but his voice remained controlled and consistent. During Blooming to the Limit, the intensity of his delivery stood out so much that fans later described it half-jokingly as if he had sung himself to the point of overheating. Behind the humor, however, was a clear recognition of how much effort he was putting into every note. There was also an unexpected moment that quickly spread online. While performing Searching for You, a burst of stage confetti, combined with an unfortunate shift in airflow, sent paper pieces directly toward his face and into his mouth. He paused briefly, instinctively trying to clear it, but he never stopped singing. Within seconds, he recovered and even joked about it mid-performance, saying, "Hey, that's coming out of my budget," which immediately drew laughter from the entire venue. The incident could have disrupted the performance, but instead it highlighted his composure and ability to adapt in real time. What made the concert stand out even more was not limited to these moments on stage, but also the way he interacted with the audience. Despite his height and presence, he consistently leaned forward to listen when fans called out to him. He responded when people shouted his name, accepted letters from those reaching out, and slowed down to comfort fans who became emotional. These small gestures created a sense of closeness that is not always easy to achieve in a venue of that size. As the setlist continued, songs like The People Meant to Meet Will Meet Again and Zong Ma Ta Ji Xing gradually shifted the tone of the night. What could have been a typical closing sequence instead felt like an extension of the experience, turning what should have been a farewell into something closer to a shared continuation. There was also a lighter moment that became one of the highlights of the night. As fans began calling out his achievements from the audience, he reacted with visible amusement. In a spontaneous response, he removed his black leather jacket on stage, which immediately triggered a wave of excitement. Fans later referred to it humorously as being praised into taking his jacket off, but the moment worked because it felt unplanned and genuine rather than staged. Even after 2 full nights of performances, his engagement with fans did not end when the concert was over. At 10:34 p.m. after the second night, he went live online and spent 77 minutes talking with fans who could not attend or who were still processing the experience. He mentioned that without that interaction, people might feel a sense of withdrawal, and the casual, relaxed tone of the live stream to turn songs into narrative experiences. In Beacon Moon, for example, his delivery went beyond vocal technique and moved into storytelling, conveying emotional shifts that mirrored the arc of a character's life. This kind of performance blurs the line between singer and actor, allowing the song to function as a continuation of a story rather than just a standalone piece. The stage design supported this approach. Instead of relying on excessive visual effects, the production focused on creating an atmosphere that aligned with the tone of To Bow Down. The visuals moved between open, desolate landscapes and more enclosed, restrained settings, while the lighting transitioned from sharp, intense tones to softer, warmer ones. The result was a cohesive environment that enhanced the emotional direction of each song. Costume design also played a role in shaping the performance. The opening red outfit established a strong visual impact, while later looks from Yui Minakizato introduced a more refined and artistic element. Designs from Germanier then shifted the mood towards something more vibrant and celebratory. Each transition supported the overall pacing of the show rather than distracting from it. In the end, what made the Hangzhou concerts stand out was not any single moment, but the way everything came together. The extended encore, the unexpected incidents, the interaction with fans, and the attention to detail all contributed to an experience that felt both carefully constructed and completely spontaneous at the same time. It was not just a performance that ended slightly later than planned. It was a night where the usual boundaries between stage and audience felt less defined, and where both sides seemed equally unwilling to let the moment come to a close. And perhaps that is why, long after the final song, what people remember most is not how the concert ended, but how it almost didn't. Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe to our channel and follow us for more updates.